Welcome, Professor Rajeev Kumra, Professor and former Dean of Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, Noida campus. This is a success story series of academicians to inspire young people to take up career and jobs in academia. And this success story series will highlight some of the luminaries in academia, in world academia, for the global audience, and motivate the young people to understand and to take up the merits and benefits of being in academia as researchers and professors. Here we have Professor Rajeev Kumra. I would like to invite Tatiana Méndez to invite Professor Rajeev Kumra.
Hello to everyone. I would like to introduce Professor Rajeev Kumra first. He presently is working with the Indian Institute of Management of Lucknow as a professor in the marketing area. He's a former Dean Noida campus from 2018 to 2012 of IIML. Prior to joining IIM Lockdown, he has worked at IIM Indore. He has been a visiting and guest professor at various universities abroad and also IIMs. He has been awarded Best Faculty at IIML 8 times consequently since 2012, 2013. In total, he has 14 awards in Best category. His teaching interests include applied marketing strategy, marketing management, consumer behavior, sales and distribution, and services marketing. His international publications have appeared in Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, Young Consumers, and Journal of Management and Organization. He has provided executive education, and his client list include about pharmaceuticals, Reliance General Insurance, BNP Paribas, Mahindra Mahindra, Tata Chemical, Hero Honda, Yamaha, Godre Industries, NTPC, Cell, SBI Bank, DCB Bank, Impetus Technology, Indian Audit and Revenue Services, Indian Railway, Indian Defense Officers, to name a few. He has provided also consultancy to Mahindra Mahindra Financial Service Limited, SPMICIL, PEZ, Power Finance, and Department of Consumer Affairs, and the Government of India. Thank you for being with us today and for accepting this invitation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tatiana, for nice introduction. My name is Justin Paul. I am currently a professor and editor-in-chief of International Journal of Consumer Studies. I've been in academia for 20 years, and it is my pleasure to interview Professor Rajeev Kumra from Indian Institute of Management, India's premier business school today, about 10 commandments of academia. So what are the 10 dimensions of academia? What is really the most important things people from non-academia as well as academic institutions should know and should keep in mind? Professor Rajeev Kumra has secured several Best Professor Awards. 8 consecutive years he was elected and selected as the best professor at India's premier business school, which I don't think that any other academician can claim to have in his curriculum vitae. 8 consecutive years Best Professor Award from India's premier business schools, and he has also secured a couple of other Best Faculty Awards, and his courses were selected as the best electives at premier business schools. And he is a role model and popular professor, and he is the right person and the best possible person from India to answer the questions that we have related to academia and future of academia and the academic career. So this is a more or less like a career guru, or more or less like a career guidance session for the young people. So I would like to start with a very, very basic and fundamental question to Professor Rajeev Kumra. So you have succeeded in academia as a popular professor with several Best Professor Awards, Best Teacher Awards, and so on. What are your secrets of success, and what kind of teaching methods you follow? And do you have any advice for everyone else to be a popular teacher?
First of all, at the outset, thanks to Professor Justin for giving me an opportunity to be part of these talk series. I'm honored, and I'm humbled as well. Well, as far as the secret of my success is concerned, I think I feel blessed that I had series of senior professors or mentors who allowed me to sit through their classes to make me learn on the best teaching practices. And more importantly, the anxiety that I have when I enter into my class, that I have to deliver the best. I have taught for many years, yet I get the similar anxiety whenever I still get as it was on my first day of my class. After each and every class, I reflect that was it the best and what I would like to do to improve the learnings of participants. My recipe of success is simple. I always divide this into two parts, hardware and software. So what is the hardware and software? In my personal opinion, hardware is the knowledge which we deliver as a professor in the classes. Students' attention in the class is the least because professor is competing with the social media. And so that's why the professors who I feel emphasize to bridge the gap between theory and practice are successful. For example, who teach the how part of the things rather than emphasizing on what part of the concept. Because what part of any concept they can search on the Google. But if professor can explain how part, that's what brings outstanding knowledge. Possibly if someone has experience, has done some consulting to the organization, has written case studies, I think that professor will be able to deliver, especially the management education, in a much better way. And he will not be only equipped with the current practices, but also he will be able to bridge the gap between academia and the practice. Uh, whereas the software part of it, I would like to state here that few professors have a misplaced understanding that being lenient on marks or discipline in the class can make them popular among the students. I strongly disagree. I don't think that's the case. It is about how do you deliver, how do you make a connect, how do you make your classes interesting, and how do you make it interactive. Now, what is my style of teaching? My style of teaching is very, very simple. I usually use a chalk and class blackboard. Believe me or not, the very traditional way of teaching is still very popular. I still believe in the same very Indian ethos of Guru and Shishya model. And in spite of new technologies and tech and gadgets coming up, but I think nothing can replace the very simple chalk and blackboard kind of a model. And bringing my own industry experience to the classes, my consulting work, which I have done, my own case studies into the classes, and bringing the relevant guest lectures into the classrooms and remaining all the time updated. I think that's what is my success. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Rajiv, for this idea, talk, walk, and talk. In nutshell, yeah, traditional model and traditional enthusiasm in the classroom and integrating industry wisdom or practical wisdom with the theoretical academic ideas. So my next question that I would like to ask you is, many students, especially I understand that the thousands of students are aspiring for an MBA degree from India's premier business school, IIM. I know that less than 1% of students get into IIM compared to total number of applicants. Being a former faculty member of IIMs, I completely understand this competition. So what is your advice for college students aspiring to get into IIMs for MBA? How do they prepare? How do they crack these admission tests?
I think, yeah, Professor, you're very right. It is a highly competitive examination, and we definitely get very good talent in our business schools. We are blessed to have interaction with them every day. In my personal opinion, I will like to state that the student should have a great inclination towards solving a mathematical problem as fast as possible. We should have a great verbal and analytical skills because these are the one which we test in the CAT. At the same time, I will also like to emphasize here, it is advisable that they should have an industry experience before they come over to us in the full-time MBA course. Gone are the days where we used to prefer a freshers. So apart from that, they themselves will gain a lot because if they have worked in the industry, they can relate to our management education, which we teach in the class, and they will have a better takeaway. So in short, inclination towards mathematics, analytical abilities, and verbal abilities. Apart from that, industry experience, relevant industry experience. And if they have done something for the society, if they are entrepreneurs, if they have worked in some of the industries and they have themselves run the industries, we prefer those kind of students in our classroom because we look for diversity. So if you are from a diverse field, you're most welcome to join us at IIM.
Thank you, Professor Rajeev. Academia has always been a respectable profession when people look at from outside. These days, but some, on the other hand, some people have some kind of skepticism compared to the remuneration earned in some companies versus academia. But I believe academia and academicians get decent remuneration and much more fringe benefits in academia. It would be great for the benefit of the audience, in case if you can share some of your experiences, like as a professor or as a teacher, as a researcher in a premier university, what kind of benefits researchers or professors get these days in general. And probably people will get motivated by listening to the answers about these fringe benefits. I think a lot of fringe benefits like very long vacation and campus housing and global opportunities for travel, decent salary, a lot of things like that. Perhaps you can highlight or you can talk about some of those.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm the most equipped to answer this. The reason is very simple because initial around 12 years of my life I have spent in industry and then I shifted over to academia. So I've seen both sides of the coin, and henceforth I think I'm capable enough to talk on that. As you have rightly said, academia is one of the most beautiful industry to work for, and the bright minds should join academia. There are benefits which you cannot monetize, or there are so many intangible benefits, such as you have rightly said, there's a free time. You can decide your own work pace and you can decide your own agenda for research. Apart from that, we, for example, look at IIM Lucknow. It's such a beautiful campus that it is a 200 acres, such a nice lush green campus. The quality of life is unparalleled. Nobody can imagine it in any of the industry for that matter. The kind of offices we have, the kind of RA supports which we get, and the bonuses which are based on researches are unparalleled, which is as good as compared to any industry. Not only this, you can also have also enter into a consulting work in at IIMs, which not only brings your knowledge updation but also helps the industry. You can work on the interest area of your own research, and the kind of work-life balance which you get, I think, is unparalleled. So in my opinion, academia is one of the best industries because I have worked in industry and I have worked in academia. I think this is my calling, and I sincerely urge all the intellect minds to join academia, because not only this, you are also teaching one of the brightest minds in the country. And henceforth, working with them, there is a cross learning which happens. The kind of peers which we have in the campus are well-known name in that industry and well-known name in India, and working with them gives us a pleasure. International conference is just one of the perks where we are given an opportunity to go abroad and present our ideas and our papers, collaborate with the foreign researchers, teach in foreign universities, and also take a sabbatical leaves to pursue our higher studies, research, or jobs at some other places. The list is very, very long. I think no industry, in my personal opinion, can match the benefits offered by academia. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Academia is the best career choice. I would even say that academia is the best career choice, or first career choice. It should be first career choice for people. It should get highlighted. It is actually a better career choice than a civil service or administrative service or a diplomatic service. And it should be highlighted, but many people do not know about the benefits of serving in premier universities in different countries. In America, some of the premier universities are offering $200,000 salary for 9 months. So this is very attractive. So plus a lot of other fringe benefits. So my next point is that public sector universities and private sector universities offer higher education. There are different types of higher education institutions. and there's competition. For example, in Europe, mainly European universities are primarily in public sector. However, in America, private sector is competing with public sector. In India, private sector is competing with public sector, even though traditionally education was a subject matter of public sector in India. So what do you think the future of public sector institutions versus private sector institutions? What type of education institutions will be attracting students in future? Do you think that there is going to be some kind of paradigm shift?
Yeah, I think that's a very relevant question. Given the context of year 2020, I think this is the most relevant question, specifically in Indian context, I may say so, because this particular current government of BJP has brought up a new policy, which is a new education policy, and that's a landmark policy which has come up. This policy has not only brought more competition into the higher education sector, but many measures which the government is taking. For example, NIRF ranking. This is one of the internal ranking of Indian universities and various schools. And this ranking is primarily based on your research output is one of the criteria other than many other criteria. So that is pushing even the public sectors to work harder and to get into the rankings. This particular government is committed to open up the market furthermore, and very soon the bills will come up where the foreign universities will be invited to set up their campuses. We have seen many of the big business houses such as your Times Group, Shivnadar, which is HCL Group, Ashoka Group, even your Munjals, and many other top business groups have set up their own universities in India, which are doing pretty well and are coming up. There is a consolidation which is happening in the private sectors as well in India. And with this new bill coming up, the foreign bill coming up, I am 100% sure that many top universities of the world will set up their campuses. They have already started doing that through collaboration mode, but very soon they will have their own independent campuses in India. And that is going to be a very exciting time for all of us who are working in academia, and also for the students who are going to get the quality education at their doorsteps. So there is going to be a huge quality shift now in times to come.
Okay, it's a good news. So maybe Tatiana can ask next question.
Yes, for sure. Doing a PhD is a prerequisite for those aspiring to be in academics. So what is your suggestion for people, those who like to do a PhD, any type of, or any tip for them to get admission in premier institutions and complete the degree on time without hazards?
Yes, you're right. To get into the top business schools, PhD is a prerequisite, and one must do it also because that gives you a rigor of academic and also gives you a thought process, clarity of the thought processes. To get into the PhD, the first thing they need to do is that to have a inclination towards the topic. They should be ready with the topic, that which particular topic they want to research on. They should do some kind of a preliminary research on their own, should have some understanding about the research methodology, that how exactly, because that's the questions which they'll be asked for. Because if you're clear with the topic and with the research methods, a bit of homework if you have done, it makes your job easier to go on the higher. And more importantly, you should have shortlisted your guide, specifically looking into their interest areas, their research areas. You should be shortlisting the university and the guide, and then approach accordingly and look at the admission criteria of that particular university and apply as soon as possible, especially with the recommendation letters. That helps a lot for our PhD students to go on the ladder of success.
Thank you, Professor Rajeev. So you are a professor of marketing, and these days, especially with the COVID and recession, do you think that marketing managers will have more opportunities in the days to come compared to people specializing in finance or some other subjects like information technology? What do you think that the future of marketing and future of marketing as a career, you think that students should opt marketing in future too, considering COVID and uncertainty?
Yes, you have precisely said that. We are in the very interesting time. COVID has given a different kind of dimensions and opportunity to marketing. Earlier, there used to be a huge number of jobs in the field sales. Now, the same very jobs are shifting towards the sales is still existing, but how you are going to do a sales, that very thing is going to undergo a dramatic change, because one cannot go out. Henceforth, the online shopping and the digital way of marketing is going to go up. So the new skill sets has to be acquired, which includes big data analytics, digital marketing, marketing analytics, AI, and IoT. So these kind of skill sets has to be acquired by the marketer now, unlike past where it was only a sales focus and less rest was on the marketing focus. Though the basic fundamentals, the concepts does not change, however the context changes and the way you do the marketing also changes. Specifically with the degrowth happening in the economy, there is a huge demand for a good marketer who understands these dynamics, because the consumption behavior is changing, the way consumers are interacting with the brands, the way the consumers are interacting with the products is undergoing a drastic changes. Henceforth, marketer has to be adaptive to these changes and make the changes in the way they are also interacting with the consumers. So this is going to be an in thing now. Marketing is further going to see a best of the talents getting attracted towards that.
So one more question, which this is going to be the last question. Work-life balance is important in academia. Academia, for example, if you do research, so you need more time for research, and but you can be a worldwide, well-known personality if you do research. So it has its own benefits, but it is very time-consuming. So what do you think about work-life balance in academia as an academician, as a professor? How do you manage work-life balance? Is it like a wealth-health balance? For example, those who are wealthy need not be healthy. Those who are healthy need not be wealthy. So is it work-life balance is like wealth-health balancing? Do you practice any kind of balancing in life?
Thanks, Professor, for asking this. I think again, this is a very close to my heart. This is my personal life questions. I personally believe that it's not good to have a lopsided personality, because we all are intellects who are working in this field, working on research papers and finding out our knowledge gaps, trying to fill that, or also working with the best students and peers. But at the same time, I think excitement can also come if we are balanced in our life. For example, I can tell you about my personal thing. I always keep a time aside in a day. That is in the morning for 1.5 hours. I keep it aside every day. I personally go to gym. I'm also into wrestling, and also I'm into yoga. So I'm quite sporty and always go for tracking as well. So if I can find a time at my age, I think everyone can find a time. Finding a time for a family is a bit of a challenge for me also, but yeah, one need to have a work-life balance for sure, because we do have a time and we can prioritize our time as a professors. So I think it is in our hand that how much we want to prioritize, and we should prioritize. I am personally very much inclined towards health and also work, so we all can do that, I believe so. I have myself participated in many competitions, which include district powerlifting competitions. At this age, if I can do it, I think youngsters for sure should do it.
So what's your last advice for young people, those who are in 20s or those who are in 30s, so what's your last advice? Any specific advice for them to achieve success in life?
They should find out the best mentor. That is more important at young age. Make someone as a role model. Follow their path, that how they have grown over the years. Find out the best place to study, because your alma mater matters a lot in your career, and the learnings which you get in your schools and your colleges and higher educations is going to stay with you forever. So I think finding a right mentor, the right subject of your choice, and try to join academia is what I will suggest to the youngsters.
Thank you. So we conclude that academia is best career choice for the young people, and they should aim to be well-known academicians and professors. And I'm sure that you have motivated them. Thank you very much for this interview, and we would like to
Thank you.
do all the best in your career and in your life.
Thank you, Professor, for giving me an opportunity.